Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. Dear Nikos, I'm very happy to be back here in Cyprus. Actually, it is the sixth time in my capacity as President of the European Commission. And yes, we had an excellent visit of the College of Commissioners today. Your country stands at the crossroads of continents and cultures, and this gives Cyprus and Cypriots a unique expertise in dialogue, in negotiations and in diplomacy. And these are assets that will matter greatly as your steer of our common agenda in the first half of 2026 is paramount. And as together we navigate in turbulent geopolitical waters, it fits that the motto, the theme of your presidency is an autonomous union open to the world. Concretely, this means that together we will be working on three key strands that will strengthen our independence. It is security and defence, it is competitiveness and decarbonisation, and it is democracy and partnerships. So let me shed a light on these three working strands. My first point is on security and defence. Last year, at the European level, we have made more progress in defence than in decades before. We have presented the white paper, we have presented the readiness roadmap till 2030, but we have also enabled the member states to mobilise up to 800 billion euros to make this readiness roadmap really happen, so to implement it and to invest in the gaps, the capabilities that we need. And this includes the 150 billion for joint procurement, the SAFE programme. Yesterday we had in the College of Commissioners the first 8 plans, national plans of member states out of 19 member states that have signed up. It was approved in the College, and now it's urgent for the Council to approve these plans to allow fast disbursement. And if things go fast, we could set the record that from the proposal of SAFE in the College till disbursement, we just needed 1 year. That would be fantastic. Closely linked to our work on security and defence is Ukraine. Peace talks are ongoing. At the same time, Russia continues its brutal shelling. This is the moment to keep our support strong and sustained, so we can put Ukraine in a position of strength on the battlefield, but also at the negotiation table. And your presidency will have the key role to play to ensure a swift agreement between Council and Parliament on the 90 billion loan we have agreed on, or we have proposed yesterday, the legal proposal in the College, and we agreed politically on it in December in the European Council. At the same time, we're working with the United States and other partners on the so-called prosperity pillar for Ukraine, for a future peace agreement, how to recover the Ukrainian economy. And here let me underline that the central role that Ukraine's accession to the European Union plays. We have seen by experience that with accession to the European Union, a huge boost in economic growth happened. Poland is an example. Since accession to the European Union, Poland doubled its economic size because of access to the single market. So accession is both a key security guarantee in its own right for Ukraine, but also the essential engine for future growth and prosperity of Ukraine. The needs right now are immense, but our track record is also impressive. If you look at what the European Union has provided steadily during those last 4 years of Russian war in Ukraine, it's now up to 193 billion euros since the beginning of the war. And we can build on the instruments that we have created to make sure that this money is swiftly transferred to Ukraine under conditions that are held for the investment in Ukraine. So, in general, it is time for a new European approach to that. And in the environment that we have right now, in security and defence, we have decided that it is also time during your presidency to come with a new European security strategy. My second point is on a competitive European Union, because only if we are economically strong we can secure our independence. And let me start with innovation. Our hallmark is the freedom of science and research that is guaranteed in Europe. And that is why we launched the Choose Europe programme last May. During your presidency, we will organise a follow-up conference of Choose Europe in May. The beating heart, of course, of our economy is the single market, as you know. We will present the 28th regime package to support innovative companies so that they have only one single and simple set of rules to operate within the European Union, a reduction of bureaucratic burden and more speed in the growth of companies, innovative companies within the European single market. But as important as the single market is a deep and liquid capital market, we have presented ambitious files on the Savings and Investments Union, which now need to make significant progress during your presidency. As you know, if we look at the competitiveness of the European Union, besides the single market, the Savings and Investment Union, the reduction of bureaucratic burden, the access of innovative companies to the single market rapidly, another point that is crucial is to tackle high energy prices. Several key proposals are already on the table of the co-legislators, and you will be working on the grids package and the permitting package, for example. Now, finally, we will continue with our work on simplification and burden reduction. You know that 10 omnibuses are on their way, but they all have to reach their destination, so we count on you here in the Council presidency. If these omnibuses are finally agreed, this means 12 billion euros burden reduction for our economy every year. But as I said, not the departure is crucial, but the arrival of the omnibuses agreed is important. Then for competitiveness, not looking only at our single market, there's another important aspect. Europe's independence benefits a lot from our strong and growing network of trade agreements. They help to diversify and de-risk. And with that backdrop, Saturday in Paraguay, we will write history. We will sign the EU-Mercosur Partnership Agreement, indeed after 25 years of negotiations. It will create the largest free trade zone in the world, but our ambition goes further. We're working hard to conclude our negotiations in your presidency with India, preferably at the end of this month, as well as with many partners like Australia, the United Arab Emirates and Malaysia. So all in all, and this was only a short glimpse on the competitiveness topic, I'm very much looking forward to the informal leaders' meeting on the 12th of February, because this will be the place to take stock on what we have so far achieved, but also to speed up further delivery on our competitiveness agenda. My third point is our common work on migration. You mentioned it too. We must work hand in hand to implement the Pact on Migration and Asylum, and there the next 6 months will be absolutely crucial. And I'm glad that I can count on Cyprus' experience. The overall situation in Europe has substantially improved in the recent years. If I may cite figures from Cyprus, there it's visible. Irregular arrivals fell by 62% in 2025 compared to 2024. And if you mirror that to the European level, it confirms the trend. If we take the year 2024, we had a reduction of irregular border crossings of 37%, and now in the last year, 2025, on top came a reduction of 26% of irregular border crossings. So let's keep up this work and focus on dismantling smuggling networks. Last, and certainly not least, you will play a key role in advancing the next long-term EU budget. Indeed, you mentioned it. The December European Council showed strong support for political agreement by the end of 2026. That's our ambition. The momentum must now be maintained with speed and focus. We can deliver a modern and ambitious EU budget, a budget that supports Europe's choice of independence and that ensures that Europe has the right resources to match its ambition. So I'm very much looking forward to your presidency. Thank you very much for hosting us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. We will now take some questions. The first one from CNA.